The 8th National Development Plan sets out Zambia's strategic direction in terms of development priorities and implementation strategies from 2022 to 2026. According to the plan, the focus of the country is to attain economic transformation that will be marked by advancements in industrialization and economic diversification for sustained growth driven by the agriculture, mining, manufacturing, and tourism sectors. With agriculture being a key driver for the country's economic transformation and growth, the sector provides livelihood to more than 70% of the population in Zambia. However, the agriculture sector has been characterized by low productivity, limited mechanization, and is largely rain-fed dependent. It is for this reason that government has put up deliberate measures to incentivize the agriculture sector. During his official address at the third session of the 13th National Assembly, President Hakainde Hichilema said government's desire was to provide agriculture mechanization services to small-scale farmers.
Agriculture remains, Madam Speaker, the bedrock of our economic transformation and job creation agenda to address past ills in this sector, which saw the reduction in the production of the staple food called maize, mealie. We are making steady progress in transforming the sector to make it more efficient and indeed productive for the benefit of our people. We are encouraging early maize production from commercial and other farmers by guaranteeing a ready market. In the past, commercial farmers were invited into this area, they produce, but there was no offtake. Now we've organized the offtake market, which will not hinder commercial farmers from producing more maize. Those are some of the measures, Madam Speaker, we are taking. In order to increase agriculture production and productivity, the story goes on, in the medium to longer term, Madam Speaker, we have made considerable progress in the development of support infrastructure in the farming blocks.
The President noted that a total of 4,000 small-scale farmers were provided with tractors-based mechanization services in 2022.
Madam Speaker, our desire to provide agricultural mechanization services to our small-scale farmers, medium-scale farmers, is becoming a reality. In 2022, a total of 4,000 small-scale farmers were provided with tractor-based mechanization services, exceeding the annual target of 1,500 farmers. Tremendous. Provision of irrigation facilities is another priority, as I've indicated, for the UPND New Dawn administration. We will continue with construction, rehabilitation, and maintenance of water harvesting and irrigation infrastructure across the country. Our target is to reduce over-dependence on rain-fed agriculture and ensure planting throughout the year. At least for cleared hectareage on irrigation, we should be able to do 2 crops a year.
Goods that have been zero-rated under the agriculture sector include tractors used in agriculture and horticulture irrigation systems and plows which have zero customs and value-added tax.
If you are into farming, yes, there are incentives on tractors of up to 90 horsepower. So you can import a tractor, you will not pay customs duty, you will not pay VAT, because even VAT is zero rated. So that is to encourage all age groups, all players that are interested into farming, to go into farming, import machinery. Remember, you have to mechanize, your farm. We are moving from what, for lack of a better term, what one can call the Stone Age into the mechanized, industrialized type of farming. So you can import, agriculture equipment, including, things, inputs such as plows, irrigation systems, sprayers as well. So this is to ensure that we diversify our economy from mining to, agriculture. So when we have a lot of economic players, and the good part is that over the past 5 to 10 years, a lot of people have been going into farming, be it poultry, be it the mainstream farming, be it dairy farming. A lot of people are going into farming either as a retirement, package where one wants to say, okay, when I retire, I want to focus on farming, or into commercial. The good part about farming is that you might take it as something that, part-time. But with these incentives, it provides now leverage for one to go commercial. And the moment you go commercial, then some of these problems that we are talking about will be a thing of the past, okay? When you look at across the country, maize and mealie meal are fetching at a high price. A lot of people have gone commercial selling maize and mealie meal, okay? So how about encouraging a lot of Zambians to go into farming so that we have enough food as a country, but at the same time, people can go commercial, start exporting, maize, start exporting mealie meal, and earn an income at the end of the day. So there are these incentives that we do have to provide and to encourage, more people to go into farming, but also as a tax relief. You will find that for income tax, those that are into, say, mining and any other type of business, for income tax, they are taxed at 30%. But for you who is in farming, you'll be taxed at 10%. So these are some of the tax incentives that have been provided, for those that are in agriculture. We are happy to mention that the Zambia Revenue Authority, through the government through the Zambia Revenue Authority, does provide a number of tax incentives, and the reason basically is to ensure that there's a tax relief on the people, on our players in the small and the ones that we call small, medium, and the small and medium enterprises, to ensure that there is sustainability over a period of time. Even the tax bans in terms of taxation are also, structured in such a way that there is a relief on the small and medium. So for those that are just startups, they are small and medium.
The Zambia Revenue Authority wants entrepreneurs to take advantage of the tax incentives.
Incentives, as the word entails, I think is a motivating factor that drives someone to go into something or doing something. So in the same vein, incentives, I think, in the various sectors of the economy are put there because there is something that government wants to achieve in those areas. So we can talk of areas like in farming, what is the drive that is there. We can talk of areas like manufacturing. We can talk of areas like mining. We can talk of areas like tourism. So mainly, I think those are the major sectors of the economy. And so each of them, I think, is handled differently depending on the direction that the government wants to take at a particular time.
Stakeholders in the agriculture sector are excited about the agriculture tax incentives, noting that it will help in increasing productivity.
The reason I would say thank you to UPND and New Dawn government is that for a long time we have been trying to mechanize smallholder farmers. And that's the starting point, where small equipment like the two-wheeled tractors are coming in absolutely free, meaning they will be cheap to the smallholder farmers. And we will try as much as possible to use this opportunity.
This awareness needs to be created by ZRA itself to ensure that the farmers actually have this information. You see, once you remove some of the duties on some of these agricultural implements, but what it will entail is the small-scale farmers will actually have access to some of these things. Now, I think government needs to go beyond that, because for a very long time we've actually been focusing on production of raw materials. But I think we need to move a step further by also taking into account value addition. You see, what will transform the rural areas is value addition and manufacturing. Basically, we're talking about processing of these agriculture raw materials.
Government's effort to zero-rate agriculture equipment will surely allow small-scale farmers increase productivity, thereby contributing to the country's food security.